Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Soft box. Quarterback's rolling. Have a chance.
Game on the line. King, he's going to step up. Pumps, runs, goal line. Is he in? Yes! Carolina wins. King's king. King of the night.
There goes PCA. Throw down to third. And it gets away. Here it comes. PCA is in. And the Cubs win it. And a ground ball up the middle, base hit, into center field. White will score. 7-7. 1-1 on the way. Up the middle, base hit. Here he comes. Sogard rounding to throw home, and the Sox win again. What a wild ride on a roller coaster tonight. And that's 8 in a row and another sweep.
And with that, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Sam Bourquin Show here on AM 1310 WDPN. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, we're on X. Sam Bourquin here. Brian Beatty is there. Get on a little bit late today. We were kind of sharing a booth with our friends from a radio station and down in Lafayette, Louisiana, so we had to wait to get on today. But we are here. We'll be with you until 6 o'clock tonight. We are at Fan Fest. Yes, we are sweating like we just walked through the Sahara Desert. B. Beatty, how you doing, buddy?
Great.
Good?
Great. Glad to be here. Getting after it, having a little beef from Joe Thomas's.
Yes, the brisket was
on
fantastic.
Point. Yes.
It was really, really good. So there's a big got a concert coming up at 7:30 tonight here on the Kane stage. Lots of food, lots of drink, tons of entertainment here. Hall of Famers kind of walking around, past enshrinees walking around. Place to be here at Stadium Park on the campus of the Pro Football Hall of Fame. All right, now we know we just welcomed you in, and we're saying hello and welcoming you in. Phones are open if you want to get in, 330-821-1310. You can text at 944-5179. Chat is open. Get them in right now on the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. But we must break for news and weather, and Brian and I will come back. We'll take you up until 6 o'clock tonight. So hang out, have some fun here on this fill-in-the-blank Friday, live here on the grounds of Stadium Park. It's the Hall of Fame Fan Fest on 1310 WDPN.
Now, the latest area news on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 4:30. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy of Louisiana says he'll vote for Todd Blanche as Attorney General, likely paving the way for him to be confirmed to lead the Justice Department. Cassidy announced his support Friday on the Senate floor, saying Blanche isn't perfect, but no one is. Blanche's confirmation had been thrown into doubt over opposition from Republican Senators Lisa Murkowski of Alaska and Susan Collins of Maine. The Senate passed legislation Friday placing strict sanctions on Russia. The act would target Russian leadership, banks, and its oil shadow fleet by requiring a president to impose tariffs of up to 100% on goods from the top 5 importers of Russian oil and gas, and up to 500% on goods imported from Russia. The upper chamber passed the bill 86-11 in honor of late Republican South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham, who passed away July 11th. Since the legislation would target the largest buyers, it allows for waivers for countries that import less than 15% of Russia's total natural gas exports and are taking steps to reduce them. Graham introduced the bill last April, though it stalled for over a year as the White House wanted more waiver authority over the sanctions and tariffs. The bill was introduced by Graham's sister, Senator Darlene Graham, on July 16th. It's been a week since the invasion of Ceuta, Spain. Authorities still dealing with the fallout. The BBC reported Thursday between 3,000 and 5,000 illegal aliens are still in the small Spanish city in North Africa. The outlet reported 78,000 crossings had taken place since the invasion began. AP reported since last week, Spain has installed a 1,600-foot-long barrier on the sea border. The New York Post noted the border crossers had been complaining about the lack of food and blankets. More footage began circulating on X of the invaders chanting Allahu Akbar. The mayor and president of Ceuta, Juan Jesus Vivas, expressed profound sorrow to the European Parliament over the deaths of 100 people but said it was an unequivocal attack, adding, "Our people feel sad and worried and have good reason to, because it's inevitable to wonder whether this will happen again." Southwest Airlines pushing back against efforts to detain illegal immigrants at U.S. airports. A report from the Wall Street Journal highlights a July 25th incident in which an ICE agent was prevented from carrying out his duties when he tried to board a Southwest Airlines jet in Dallas. Staff also refused to share passenger information with ICE. The Journal said about a half dozen other incidents involving Southwest have taken place in recent weeks. ICE has broadened its effort to arrest illegal aliens at airports in San Francisco, Miami, and Kansas City. Last month, between 1 and 3 dozen arrests per day were made at U.S. airports. Representative of Trade Group Airlines for America said airlines have had discussions with ICE and TSA to ensure there are proper procedures and protocols in place, prioritize the safety and security of all involved if law enforcement activity occurs at an airport. 79 degrees at 4:33 for WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
Here's Mark Johnson's forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
Yeah, looks like some rain moving in during the afternoon and evening hours today. Scattered showers and storms, a high of 84 degrees. Overnight, more of the same, scattered showers and storms. Our low 68. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
Welcome back, everybody. AM 1310 WDPN. We come to you live from the Pro Football Hall of Fame Sugardale Fan Fest here at Stadium Park. Sammy B and Brian B here with you. It is a cooker today. We are in about 84, 85, maybe hotter. Lots of humidity.
There you
right
go.
on cue.
Yes.
So I have to turn I got the crowd mic turned all the way down. So, we're going to have to deal with it.
Perfect.
What did was it Marv Levy who said, "Where else would you rather be than right here, right now, when the band's warming up and you're trying to do a show?" But that's what it is. All right, welcome in, everybody. 2026 class. I was thinking about this last night. Talked about the class individually a little bit on the show yesterday. Who stands out to you the most? I'm not asking you to pick a favorite, but like who, when I read off the names of Adam Vinatieri and Roger Craig and Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald, and I'm leaving one out. I knew I would.
Kuechly.
Luke Kuechly. Who jumps off for you?
The first one, is Drew Brees. I think he's your household name. I think everyone, kind of really thinks of. I guess he's the main one out of this class. Being the running back, Roger Craig's one that really comes to my heart. Watching him play. But every class, you look into. I love going back and kind of just looking back at their careers, and you even got Drew Brees. You forget he played for the Chargers.
Right.
Luke Kuechly, that was great. Remember him playing here at the old Fox Stadium against Menor. Larry Fitzgerald was really the very first big wide receiver, and played with one team his whole career. And Adam Vinatieri, you can picture him with when that dynasty started with New England.
Yep.
So there, you go back and you think of all these gentlemen and how they've made their impact in the NFL and just in football in general, for sure.
We're getting fewer and fewer of guys that are going into the Hall of Fame that have spent their entire career with one team.
Yeah.
And there will be soon it will come a day where there won't be any of that.
Yeah.
Because of NFL free agency will finally have been around long enough to where guys no longer stay at one spot. They just kind of bounce around. But that's the guys that I love. The guys that stay, and I know they probably gave up some money. They probably gave up chances to win a ring. They probably gave up a lot of stuff. But they stayed tried and true to their team, their fan base, their city. And I always appreciated that, even if they never won a Super Bowl ring or not.
Yeah, absolutely. Just being true to the city, true to the town. I wish we had a little bit of that here in Cleveland, and I think we all know who we're, speaking about. But yeah, it's comes down to the almighty dollar sign. And, you can't fault the individuals either, when it does come down to that. But, yeah, it is going to be harder and harder to find that, to the individuals that stay.
Mike checking in on YouTube. He says, guys, is that band playing Unforgettable Favorites on 1310 WP? No, they are not. Popper, thanks for checking in with us here on this late Friday afternoon. Last night, how about, I'll tell you what. I've been to a lot of Hall of Fame games, left a lot of Hall of Fame games early. Last night was, where did that come from? Yeah, 33-30. Last play of the game, probably still 60 to 65% of the fans stayed until the end of the game. That was so unlike a Hall of Fame game last night. That was fantastic.
Yeah, you don't have the starters, you don't have the all pros, the big names playing, but you had people competing, and you saw that. You still had names that you knew out there. But the competition, it was good, and who doesn't like the offense playing, and making some plays, and it was a great game. It was excitement, and it came down to the last snap. How about that?
Cool. I mean, wow, that was 33-30. I think that's the highest scoring Pro Football Hall of Fame game. I don't know in history, but it's one of the highest scoring games we've had here in a long time. So this is obviously a dress rehearsal, warm up, sound check. I don't even know if it's a sound check. Now, there's a band that was supposed to go on at 7:30. I don't even know if this is them. But they're going through some stuff on stage right now, so that'll be in the background here as we come to you live from the Sugardale Fan Fest here on the campus of the Pro Football Hall of Fame at Stadium Park. Sam Bourquin, Brian Beatty with you today on this Friday afternoon. You and I got to go, obviously, to the game last night, and we were down on the field before the game, taking in the sights and the sounds. And well, I'll tell you what, man, every year it happens. I go down there and I say, these human beings can't possibly get any bigger and faster and stronger. Yeah, I watched the Arizona Cardinals come out of the locker room last night, the linemen. Literally everybody was 6'8". Everybody was 350 pounds. Everybody.
Yeah,
I've never seen anything like it in my life.
No, it's incredible, the speed, the size of these individuals. It's the game just keeps on getting faster. The athletes are getting, just the nutrition, the workouts. It's amazing what these bodies and how they can perform. I had the opportunity to play college football, but there's no way I could play at that level the way these guys look now. I mean, it's amazing. The game has developed, and they wear very little pads. They're so quick, and they have this. I call them the little ankles, the calves, and just they get after it and they fly around. You got defensive tackles that run as fast as the running backs.
Yeah.
So, it's amazing watching these. They are amazing human beings and amazing athletes.
Athleticism was off the charts last night, and you know what was kind of fun though? The quarterbacks last night. You may see these guys during. You may see these guys during the regular season for both Carolina and Arizona. Kenny Pickett and Carson Beck. I thought they both looked really good. First game out of the chute. Again, they're not playing with a lot of the frontliners out there, but I thought they both looked pretty good.
Yeah, they both played really well. It threw good balls, and like you said, didn't have all the ones out there with them, and this is it's crazy. You don't get to develop as much as you used to in the NFL. You're really pushed out there and rushed out there to make the impact right away. It's kind of nice that maybe they get a little bit of time to develop and maybe get a chance to make an impression in the league.
The schedule for the rest of today, of course, coming up. Kind of been moving times around a little bit for some of the stuff, but I think the Trinity Civic Dinner has kind of always been like the cocktail hour goes around 5:30, 5:45. Then the big dinner going on tonight at the Canton Civic Center, so that will be fun. That's when the guys get their gold jackets, and always some great moments there. Sometimes there's tears, a lot of laughter. Guys are all up on the stage at the same time, and they look around and they're taking in all the applause, and that's one of the coolest moments I think of the weekend. I mean, remember way back in the day, they used to get their gold jackets in the mayor's breakfast. Remember?
Yes.
And now it's at the Enshrinees Civic Dinner, so things have certainly changed there. But that'll be coming up tonight. Fan Fest tonight goes to, I think, 10 o'clock or so with the concert, food and drink and everything going on here. So if you want to stop by and say hello. Tomorrow will be bright and early Pro Football Hall of Fame parade, 8 o'clock. It steps off Cleveland Avenue in downtown Canton. And then we got the Carnation Parade pretty much right after the Hall of Fame parade is over. So we'll be jumping from Canton to Alliance to get in both those parades. And then the enshrinement tomorrow at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. And this is the second or third year, Brian, they've moved it to afternoon because it was running prime time on Saturday nights for a while, like 6:30, 7 o'clock. And they've made some changes there. So now that's at noon, a little bit warmer, a little bit hotter for the audience. And attendance has kind of gone down a little bit. I think maybe because of that. I'm not sure. But they expect a big crowd there tomorrow. And then you got the Laney Wilson concert is Sunday night. The Round Table, the Game Day Round Table, they used to call it that. That is Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock at the Civic Center. And the big concert Sunday night. And then that's pretty much it until next year. And then there are some big names, obviously, hanging out there to be inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame here in the next 3, 4, 5 years. And what you kind of hope is that everything is done.
Yeah.
The water park, the hotel, the retail, the food, everything is done. Everything is paved. Everything is lit up. Everything is ready to go. And then we can just start moving forward with doing it up, doing it big, and not worrying about construction and cones and scaffolding and all this crap. It's going to be nice when they finally get it all said and done. A little tough to move around here now, I'll be honest with you. If you're coming in and out and trying to park and this and that, it's a little bit difficult. But once you get here, there's lots of stuff to do, and certainly a lot of out-of-towners here, as usual. A lot of people from New Orleans here, a lot of people from Carolina. You see a ton of Fitzgerald jerseys. Drew Brees, of course, was out serving chicken today this morning over at Raising Cane's over on Dressler Road. They had a huge crowd out there waiting in the rain, so that was kind of cool. But a lot of folks have come into town. Of course, we want to welcome them and hope you enjoy your stay and have a safe trip back to your next destination. Let's see here. So another event I wanted to mention. Saturday. Okay, we had the fashion show was earlier today.
Fashion show was this afternoon, yes.
Nicolina from our sister station,
and the pickleball
was
this afternoon.
Pickleball this
afternoon
was there over at the Dome. A lot of folks. That's kind of a newer
event,
thing, right? Yeah.
I think Christian said he was taking pictures with pickleball champions and
nice.
pickleball mascot. I'm not sure what that was all about, but it sounded like he was having a good time at that event. So that's a newer event. And then I know Sunday a bunch of the high school kids. I know some of the boys were invited. Ray Lewis is having a breakfast, sort of a morning preaching type event that he's going to have. So that's a great sort of Sunday worship type event for some high school kids. So that's a really neat event for some of the high school kids to go to.
Sure has grown, hasn't it? Over the years, over the decades. And
it's great that, Ray Lewis, a lot of, the pickleball, I think Emmett Smith, and I'm not going to, it may be Ray Lewis, and coming back and giving back to the community, to the food banks, the different organizations. That's great to see that, they come back to Canton and give back to the community also. And, these guys come back and they really do. A lot of different sponsorships, with like Drew Brees, with, Canes, coming out on a Friday morning and serving food. That's great.
Chicken fingers at 8:45. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, it's really neat. And like you said, seeing a lot of people from Texas that, that's where Drew Brees is from. We sat there and talked to a few this afternoon before we set up. And, it's great just hearing the stories and everything that way. So, it's great.
Yeah, the stories, they get bigger and better. They get a little embellished every year that goes by, but they're still like you're locked in. And I think, I don't know the exact number, but I thought I saw around 124 Hall Hall of Famers came back this year. That may be close to a record, or the most they've had in a long time. They used to try to get it at least to 100, and they had that big picture out there that they take, in front of the Hall of Fame. And I think this year they had a few more, like 124, 125, and that says a lot. And of course, unfortunately, we lose a couple, every year, a couple of years. Guys, are getting in the advanced age, or some just can't make it to Canton anymore. Some guys get here heck or high water. Earl Campbell, he gets here every year no matter what. Some other guys have been coming for decades, and they love it here. Like it is their second home, and they're beloved in their city, the teams that they played for. They're also beloved here.
Yeah,
and a lot of people who never saw them play in person, they saw them on TV, what have you. But we love when the fellas and the Hall of Famers come back, because they're part of us. We're kind of part of them, and it's just kind of neat.
Yeah, I love listening to when they speak about their fraternity.
Right.
Being part of their fraternity, being first of all, they're NFL players, and this fraternity of them being in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and we're kind of the keepers of that. The Stark County. We kind of keep that tradition alive for them, putting on this great event for everyone. And keeping these great facilities and growing the Hall of Fame. We keep this tradition alive for them to come back and, have this fraternity. And, we saw Chris Berman earlier, and,
right.
All the different, podcast individuals come in. I mean, they just love the city, and we continue to grow all these events, and, keep Stark County and the people and the hundreds and hundreds of volunteers, keep this everything going. I had the chance to talk to Maureen Schmucker on the elevator yesterday, and she was telling us how the elf came about with the Cleveland Browns. Had no idea the whole story. That we were waiting because the coaches had to come up and down the elevator, so we had a little bit of wait. What a great story! They were telling our daughters the whole story yesterday, and no idea. So yeah, just hundreds of volunteers. It was just great. So
yeah, hundreds and thousands, and some of them have been doing it for ever, like for decades. I know, like a good friend of mine, next door neighbor, he's been doing it for years. And a lot of people, they're working all year, and they'll use up a vacation week, so they can volunteer, which is, I don't think you're going to get that everywhere, but boy, they sure do it here, and it's great that we have all the volunteers. You certainly couldn't pull all this stuff off, especially as big as this has grown. The festival has grown over the years. I mean, you used to just have to, we're gonna kind of take over the Civic Center for a day, and that's going to be it.
Yeah.
Now you're at the Civic Center, you're at Stadium Park, you're at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. You're here, you're there, you're everywhere, and it does take everybody to pull this off. And if you're behind the scenes, you may see some stuff that but on the outside looking in, hey, they pulled that off again, and there was no trouble. Yeah. And that's, we kind of take pride in that around here.
Absolutely. Yeah, you had the parade, the enshrinement, and the enshrinement, and then you had the game. All the same day.
7:30 a.m. for the parade. The enshrinement was at 11:15, and the game was at 3.
Yeah.
And then by 7 o'clock, it was over and done, and you never even knew it happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, boy, you talk about stuffing a lot of stuff into a very short amount of time. But it was fun. It was a challenge. I think those of us that, certainly you and the people that lived in Stark County for a long time, we took that as a challenge. Okay, how are we going to get from here to here to here? And we're going to take all this stuff in, and we're going to be present, and we're going to enjoy it to the fullest, because it did go. I mean, it did go so fast.
It did.
Like, it went from Hall of Fame's greatest weekend to like Hall of Fame's football's greatest 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
But it went so fast. And it was like, oh, man. Like, I used to get upset. Like, 364 more days now. I got to wait. What am I? It was like when Christmas was over. What am I going to do for another year, And I just – you just love being a part of all the events and checking them out, meeting new people. And now that it's kind of spread out, it doesn't go quite as fast, but it's still – I mean – It'll be Sunday night. They'll be tearing stuff down at the stadium after the Laney Wilson concert before you know it, and we'll be getting back to what have you. I just saw a gentleman. I don't know if you can see him, Brian. He's got Andre Thornton, number 29, Cleveland Indians jersey on, in a Wahoo cap. He's way over there. Holy smokes! And that shirt was
Andre
as white
Thornton.
as
There you go.
he'd taken care of that baby. That looked good. That was neat, old Thunder Thornton back in the day for the Tribe. All right, we're going to step out. 4:54 is our time. If you want to get in, join us, 330-821-1310. You get the text in, get your comments in the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. Sam Bourquin, Brian Beatty live from the Sugardale Fan Fest here at Stadium Park. All part of the big enshrinement festivities this week and weekend here on AM 1310 WDPN. Stay with us.
AWP Safety, North America's leading traffic safety company, is hiring traffic control flaggers, and they need you. Join AWP as a protector for steady work and an important job keeping people safe. They offer paid training, certification, referral bonuses, and advancement opportunities. To apply, visit jobs.awpsafety.com. That's jobs.awpsafety.com.
Hey, man, good to see you. What brings you out here today? Need to pick up a few tools. You? I need new kitchen cabinets, countertops, maybe even a whole new kitchen, but I can't get any help or find what I need in this place. You need to go to Robertson's for that. Robertson's Kitchen and Bath Gallery is an American Standard plumbing registered showroom, and their knowledgeable consultants have the training and expertise to actually help you get what you need without breaking your budget.
Visit Robertson Kitchen and Bath at 2155 West Main Street in the Alliance Industrial Park, or visit them online at robertsonkitchenandbath.com, where amazing meets affordable.
Rust Belt Property Solutions reminds our listeners that each day, over 20 veterans take their own lives. Together, we can win this war against veteran suicide. Let's all join them by letting our veterans know our community is standing behind them. This message from Rust Belt Property Solutions, where they say service isn't just a courtesy, it's a commitment. For more information, give them a call at 216-703-6428. That's 216-703-6428 for Rust Belt Property Solutions, LLC at 1468 McTaggart Road in Stowe. They're a local veteran-owned business on the air because they care.
How do you know your home? At Habitat for Humanity, we believe it's when you find peace, stability, and safety. But 1 in 3 people on Earth woke up today without a good home. Not because of chance, but because of high costs and other very real barriers. A housing crisis this big needs all of us. So let's open the door to opportunity and build a tomorrow where home is possible for everyone. Visit Habitat.org to learn more. Again, that's Habitat.org. Habitat for Humanity. Let's open the door.
.1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Sammy B here with Brian Beatty, joining us here for the Sugardale Fan Fest at the Stadium Park, part of the big Pro Football Hall of Fame enshrinement festivities this week. 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. We got about 3.5 minutes before we get to the top of the hour news and weather. And Brian, I will be back until 6 o'clock tonight. We'll get back into the Hall of Fame talk. Next hour, we'll talk a little Guardians. We will talk some high school football. Brian and I were both out at a couple of different scrimmages today. I was at Massillon and Avon. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I can't wait to tell you about that.
Tigers are ready.
Oh, they were growling this morning at 1 Paul Brown Drive. And then, Brian, you were at, Jackson Louisville, and then West Branch and Lake.
Yes,
so we'll be talking about those scrimmages and taking a little sneak peek ahead to the upcoming high school football season here. Gary Frascone checking in. Gary, how you doing, buddy? Says, keep up the great work, fellas. George says, my challenge was making donuts for 2 16-hour days to get ready for the parade. Yeah, how about the donut makers? They just start making donuts at like 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
Have them ready by 5 or 5:30. People have already set chairs up on the parade route.
Tents. I saw tents.
Like yesterday.
Down.
They were up yesterday.
I saw it came
so
down
people,
full.
they want their donuts right now. So you better have those things ready.
Do you remember the parties back in the day?
Oh,
yeah.
I wasn't old enough to partake.
I remember my parents,
but
honestly,
the stories.
going up and down, you used to cruise up and down. You used to go up and down
Fulton Road.
Fulton.
Then they moved it to Cleveland Avenue.
yeah.
And then it's a lot more tame now.
Than
it used to be. I remember as a little whippersnapper, one of my good friends who I lived on Lakeside growing up, which is right up the street. And then he lived on Lakeside as well. And his grandfather had one of those old vans, the Ford Econoline vans. Not the white ones that people get afraid of, but
like
it was
one I drive.
It was right. You start playing ice cream music when you start driving around. But it was like a powder blue van, and he used to take us. There was 3 of us. We were like the neighborhood cronies back then, and we were, oh gosh, I don't know, 9, maybe 8, 9, 10, whatever. And he would park over at the old Schneeberger Funeral Home on Fulton. He would pull the van in, and we just spent the night. We sat on the curb. We went to went to Woody's across the street.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be a miniature golf course over there, Hollyhock. We used to go over there and putt all night, and we people watched as kids, and we didn't get into any trouble. We didn't do anything stupid, and no cell phones or anything.
Yeah.
But we had a blast, and I just remember the Fulton Road the night before the parade was nothing like I had ever seen in my life. But boy, we loved it. And then things happened, and they had to shut that down. And then they went down to Cleveland Avenue for a little while, and it was kind of tame. And then it got out of hand, and they had to kind of put the kibosh on that. But the pre-parade parties back in the day talk about stories. Whew,
yeah,
those were pretty insane. But yeah, it's still. I know people were setting up tents and chairs. What's today? Friday. They were setting them up late Sunday night or late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. So a lot of the lawn chairs you see on Cleveland Avenue starting at like 12th and 13th Street, those have been up for days. They're ready to go. They want the parade.
Yeah, nothing better than a good parade.
No.
So you're taking the parade route down Cleveland Avenue, and you guys are getting off 62 exit, taking down 62 all the way to State Street, and then just right down the Carnation.
Yeah, we're just going to
Parade.
stay on the. We're going to hijack our drivers. We're just going to say, just drive us into
That's
the
a
Carnation
long parade route for you guys.
I know. So we're thinking we're number 70, unit number 70, the Hall of Fame parade. So I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe by 9-ish. No, it'll be later than that. And then we're going to do some skirmishing around, and we're all going to kind of get over to the station, and we're going to get picked up there, taken to the drop-off point for the Carnation Parade, and then we're going to kind of go from there. So it'll be interesting. We're all meeting at 6:15 a.m. To get one little ride over, then the shuttle, and then down to the AEP building so we can get ready for the parade, and then away we go. So it'll be a busy day, but it'll be fun, and hopefully Mother Nature will cooperate as well. Okay, we are ready to go for the news and weather coming up. And Brian and I will be back with one more hour here from the Canes Food Fest. Canes Music Stage. It's the Pro Football Fame Fan Fest here. And live coverage, live Sam Bourquin Show, myself, Brian Beatty. We'll be back on 1310 WDPN. Stay with us, everybody.
News, weather, sports, local information, and music 24 hours a day. This is AM 1310 WDPN Alliance.
ABC News, I'm Chuck Sievertson. Analysts were expecting a net gain of jobs last month. Instead, the Labor Department reports 23,000 went away. Totals for June and May were revised downward. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
This is job losses last month, and the expectation had been that we would see over 80,000 new jobs added. There are certain sectors where the jobs were lost by the biggest amounts: local government, education, retail, hotels, and food services. We did also see a drop in the participation rate, meaning fewer people were trying to find work.
The Department of Homeland Security says while it promised to equip each enforcement team with an officer wearing a body camera, it says it will review footage and will only release it when it is in the best interest of the agency. Todd Blanche has just enough support to become the next Attorney General, with Louisiana Senator Bill Cassidy saying that he will vote for him. Wall Street's major indexes closed higher. This is ABC News.
Bottles are filling and payroll's next. Whoa, what the?
I'm you with more gusto.
What's with the leather jacket?
It's kind of my new vibe, which, by the way, switch to Gusto for payroll.
Switch? Oh, that's always such a headache.
With Gusto, it's effortless. Kind of like looking cool in this jacket. Payroll, benefits, even 401k. Simple. Can I try it on? Gusto? Sure. The jacket? No. Switch to effortless payroll. Choose a future with Gusto.
Progressive presents the Museum of You. We begin our tour with a unique piece, a relic from the early big screen television era. Remarkable. Next, we find a juicer, which historians believe has only ever been used once. And finally, compact discs from the emo era. A rare find indeed.
Some things should be history, but until then, you could protect what's important to you and save by bundling your auto insurance with a renter's policy from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Now, the latest Alliance area news from Clint Marshall on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:02. Sentencing is set in the October 2023 killing of a Smith Township woman. August 17th, the date for 34-year-old Nicholas Cunningham of Alliance, who pleaded guilty Friday in the death of 44-year-old Gina Wade, who was found dead at her home in the 18,000 block of Courtney Road. Police have released little information, including how Wade died. She and Cunningham knew each other, and at one point she had a protection order against him. He was set to stand trial August 17th in Mahoning County Common Pleas Court after results of a third psychiatric evaluation were shared with attorneys in July. Trial begins Monday for two Canton police officers accused in the death of Frank Tyson. Officers Bo Shenegi and Camden Birch charged in Common Pleas Court with reckless homicide and have pleaded not guilty. The charges stem from the April 2024 death of the 53-year-old Canton Township man after police responded to a disturbance at the AmVets Club on Sherrick Road Southeast. Prosecutors say Tyson was restrained by officers, became unresponsive, and later died at a hospital. Woman facing a felonious assault charge after Canton police say she stabbed her live-in boyfriend. Officers called to the 300 block of 12th Street Northwest shortly after 8:45 Thursday night. 23-year-old Ayanna McCall was arrested after allegedly stabbing 23-year-old Drayon Young in the back during an argument. He was taken to a local hospital with serious injuries. McCall was arraigned today in municipal court. Man facing charges after Canton police allege he broke into multiple buildings for social media attention. 19-year-old David Bukowski of Akron turned himself in Thursday and was arraigned the same day in municipal court, where he pleaded not guilty to criminal trespass and criminal mischief charges. Police say the incidents happened between April 10th and July 8th and involved at least 16 locations in Canton, including the Stark County Public Defender's Office, Old Stone Chapel, and the Renkert Building. Bond set at $20,000, a pretrial hearing set for next Wednesday. Former Canton man will spend 40 years in prison after being convicted of sexually exploiting 4 minors. 46-year-old Shannon McTighe of Thornville was sentenced Tuesday in Columbus Federal Court. He pleaded guilty in February to sexual exploitation of a minor and possession of child pornography. Investigators found about 300,000 images and videos of child sexual abuse on his electronic devices. McTighe was arrested by the FBI in Canton in June 2025. Woman sentenced after a crash in Perry Township that killed a bicyclist. 32-year-old Margaret Fye of Perry Township pleaded guilty Thursday to aggravated vehicular homicide, failure to stop after an accident, OVI, and driving without a license. 32-year-old Timothy Coverdale of Canton was riding home from work October 31st when he was rear-ended on Whipple Avenue Northwest. Fye was given a prison term of 6 to 9 years. Not guilty, the verdict for a Barberton man accused of killing a Canton man. Summit County Common Pleas Judge Mary Margaret Rowlands acquitted 26-year-old Justice Oney of murder, abduction, and felonious assault in the April 2025 death of 25-year-old Nathan Flight. Rowlands heard the evidence and returned a verdict in the bench trial Thursday. The defense claimed Oney acted in self-defense after Flight approached him with a knife during a domestic dispute. The Stark County Sheriff's Office says a missing woman has been found safe. 70-year-old Sarah Jo Tetro had been last seen Thursday morning walking away from the 6800 block of Sun Valley Avenue Northeast in Plain Township. No other details were available. A former Alliance Community Hospital chaplain is appealing his 25 to 27-year prison sentence in a child porn case. 38-year-old Nicholas Sabella filed an appeal with the 7th District Court, challenging both his guilty plea and sentence. Sabella pleaded guilty in May to 56 felony counts of pandering obscenity involving a minor and was sentenced last month in Mahoning County Court. His attorney argues the plea was not knowingly, intelligently, or voluntarily made. Shearer's Foods says its corporate headquarters will remain in downtown Massillon despite the building being up for sale. The Independent reports the snack food company has signed a lease extension that would keep its offices on Lincoln Way East through September 2032. City officials say the property sale will not impact Shearer's operations or its presence in Massillon. The 4-story office building has been home to the company's headquarters since 2012. Carnation Days continue at Beach Creek Gardens as part of the Carnation Festival today until 4 o'clock. Tours of the Haynes House and Mabel Hartzell home continue. Days in the Park continues from 4 until 9 with a pet show at the JC Shelter at 6 o'clock. Music is provided at 6 by the band In Like Flynn. A driver's in the hospital after a single vehicle crash in Columbiana County. The wreck happened just before 8 Thursday night near State Route 14 and McCluskey Road in Fairfield Township. Highway Patrol says the vehicle left the roadway and crashed into the woods. First responders found the vehicle split in half. The driver's condition is unknown. The crash is under investigation. 80 degrees at 5:07. This is the local edition of WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
Meteorologist Mark Johnson has the latest forecast on AM 1310 WDPN.
Scattered showers and maybe a thunderstorm by mid to late afternoon today. It's going to be muggy, 84 degrees for the high. Overnight, more scattered showers and storms moving our way. Our low 68. I am Mark J. Weather. Have a great Friday.
Live from the AM 1310 WDPN studio, it's time for live and local sports talk. It's the Sam Bourquin Show.
I'm ready.
Give the show a call at 330-821-1310.
Good call, meatball.
Watch the Sam Bourquin Show on the AM 1310 Facebook page, the Q92 YouTube page, and on X. This is the Sam Bourquin Show on AM 1310 WDPN.
Quarterback throw, have a chance.
Game on the line. King, he's going to step up. Pumps, runs, goal line. Is he in? Yes! Carolina wins. King's king. King of the night.
There goes PCA. Throw down to third.
And it gets away. Here it comes. PCA is in. And the Cubs win it.
And a ground ball up the middle, base hit into center field. White will score. 7-7. 1-1 on the way. Up the middle, base hit. Here he comes. Sogard rounding to throw home. And the Sox win again. What a wild ride on a roller coaster tonight. And that's 8 in a row and another sweep.
Boy, good. Hey, everybody ought to write a thank you letter to the Boston Red Sox for sweeping the White Sox the last 3 nights. In Major League Baseball, boy, the Guardians have been the last couple of nights. They will be in Chicago tonight, Saturday and Sunday, to try to get things back on track. There's still only 3 out in the division. Twins have been kind of falling apart a little bit. The Guardians have been losing. The whole division has been, well, not playing well here lately. So we'll see what happens tonight on the South Side. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Sam Bourquin here, Brian Beatty, my good partner, my good friend. He will be with me all season long on our sister station, Q92. I just broke my pen. How about that strength? On the high school football games this year, and we're excited about that. We will start our coverage on Thursday night. I believe it is August the 20th. Brian and I will be down in Sandy Valley as the Fairless Falcons will take on the Cardinals of Sandy Valley. Our YouTube game that night will be Jackson and Chardon at the home of the Hilltoppers, so that's coming up. Then the following night, Brian and I will be kind of over this way as the Kent McKinley Bulldogs will take on Warren Harding from Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. And we're not done. Saturday afternoon. Oh, you know what? I've heard 4 different start times now for that Saturday game with Glen Oak and Tom Benson. So I'm not even going to say what time the game's going to be because I don't really know. I've heard 11:30. I've heard noon. I've heard 7. I don't know.
We'll be ready.
But we'll be ready. We'll be on Q92, whatever happens. So a triple header to start the high school football season. And, of course, you got tons of games coming up here all season long right here on AM 1310 WDPN. Christian will be on the call with most of the Alliance and the Marlington and the West Branch games. A little couple Minerva. He'll have some other big games coming up as well. But just do me a favor. Make sure that you are locked in and loaded with us on all of our social media platforms, WDPN on X, on Facebook, Q92 YouTube channel, Q92 Sports on Facebook and X. We have got you covered everywhere, and we'll have you covered all season long, and we'll be able to interact with you during the games. We got a really cool presentation for you this year. We'll have the score bug. We'll have the clock running. It's going to be, crossing my fingers, it's going to be really, really awesome, and we can't wait for that. Obviously, the class of 26, the big reason we have all of this going on here in Canton this week and weekend and the week before, the 2026 class of Pro Football Hall of Famers. They will be getting their gold jackets here a couple of hours from now at the Civic Center in downtown Canton. As far as the Enshrinee Civic Dinner is concerned, a great event. I imagine you've been to more than your share of those over the years.
Yeah, I volunteered.
A couple of ones that
them.
stick out for you?
Yeah, really the ones I've worked. I always enjoyed volunteering and working those. A quick story on one of them. I remember having, working and the radio, they were looking for Joe Namath, and they kept on trying to figure out, they lost Joe Namath, and
they lost him.
They said he was at one of the bars. And they kept on trying, and, he was supposed to be in one of the rooms. Each room, they'd have a Hall of Famer, and I just remember laughing, they just lost Joe Namath. He was at one of the bars, and he actually was, I don't know if he was at Bender's or somewhere. They had to run him down and get him back in his room and stuff. But yeah, all of them, it just, like you said earlier, just seeing the emotions from all the individuals, a lot of, not really the excitement, but just the emotion, the raw emotions when they get that jacket.
Yeah.
Just knowing they're part of, like we said earlier, that part of that fraternity that, they, all the adversity and everything they've been through, and they finally made it. There's no other peak of any other mountain when it comes to football. Part of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, that's for sure. So.
No doubt. So the Civic Dinner tonight coming up at the Canton Civic Center. Big day tomorrow with the parades and the enshrinement. They've got a lot of other events going on around here around Stadium Park and the Hall of Fame campus. The next shift, a lot of autograph signings and photo opportunities, and a lot of stuff going on today with the pickleball over at the Dome with some Hall of Famers were over there partaking in that, and just a lot of stuff going on, and we're happy to be just a small part of it here on 1310, and of course our sister station Q92. Got a shout out to Ryan Rainsberg holding the fort down for us back at the studios of AM 1310 WDPN. He's been a busy fella all week and will continue to be this coming weekend. All right, so high school football scrimmages today. You went to 2.
Yes.
I was able to get to 1. Maslin and Avon. You were able to go to Jackson, Louisville, and Lake and West Branch. And we'll start with whichever one you want to start with, and we'll kind of go from there and tell people what we saw and maybe what they could expect coming up here as we start the season, within the next 2 weeks. But nice, hot, humid day for the fellas to get out there and run around and get loose and hit some people.
Yeah, I got the chance. I'll start, I guess, with the Jackson-Louisville game. But, just talking the coaches, anymore, it starts early May. They get their helmets on earlier. It's almost like OTAs in high school football anymore. And it drags out. The linemen really don't get a lot of opportunities to hit. You have all these 7-on-7s. You have so much going on that this is really the first time you see a different color helmet uniform that you really get to hit someone. So, the excitement's there. You get to hear the cracking of the pads a little bit more. You don't see that as much. The physical two-a-days aren't really there anymore. So it was nice to see, I think everyone was just ready for this first day of, be able to scrimmage. But, yeah, I got to see Jackson-Louisville. The win-loss, whoever wins, like I've always said, you don't get any computer points right now. So, it's hard to tell, whose ones and whose twos are going against whoever. But I thought it was a pretty evenly matched. The Molleman kid looked really well. He threw the ball real well. Jackson ran the ball well against Louisville. Louisville came out and they held their own. It was some throws. Jackson, by far, I think they had about 110 kids come off the bus, 10 through 12. So their numbers are there,
up.
So, and that's unusual across the whole county, throughout the whole state. So their numbers are there. So I got to see a little bit of that one. Watch their special teams at the beginning, and their kicker, I know they lost. I can't remember the kid's name. I want to say I can't remember where he went, but the kid is filling in. He was
stepped right in,
drilling some, and I got some film of that. So they're not going to lose any special teams that way. But you see Coach Rohr's attitude and philosophy in Jackson still. Coach Atkins, first year, you see his stamp starting to go. You saw a lot of physical play by Louisville. Then I had the opportunity to head on over to West Branch to watch Lake West Branch, and was impressed with both. The top, I want to say, team in the EBC, West Branch last 7 years, and going up against a really physical Lake team, and both teams ones was a stalemate. I mean, they played really well. Quarterback for West Branch is going to YSU, threw the ball really, really nice. So, I mean, look good. The George look good. I want to say, you look at Lake and you say they played simple, but they don't show a lot of fancy stuff.
No.
They're pretty vanilla, but they're going to be pretty vanilla when you see them on any Friday night. Got to talk to both coaches. Both of them said they were just happy to be able to get out there. Both teams came out of it injury-free. Really good scrimmage for both of them because it's a hard-hitting scrimmage. Both teams really, really got after it. The Lippy kid from Lake looked really well. The George, like I said, is just a pure athlete. West Branch Coffee kid, he's a difference maker. I mean, he's just a junior. He's getting MAC looks already, but he's athletic. They have him lined up out wide. He nice pressure from the edge, so he looked really good. Had the opportunity to talk to Coach Adams. He used to play at West Branch, played at Otterburn for 4 years. Coach Daring, his first year at offensive line coach. West Branch has a brand new offensive line. None of the individuals started. They're older individuals. They kind of replaced, a older group of kids last year. So I got to interview all the offensive linemen, try to give them a shout out. So that was kind of nice. And they did well against a nice Lake up front. They're a good tested Federal League team. So that was two good ball teams I got to see. So like I said, there's no computer points or anything that way, but looking forward to some more scrimmages on Thursday. Most of these will be a little bit more dress rehearsal next week. They'll do more of the first down and 10, and a little bit more live on the special teams. So
when you played, you guys had 3 scrimmages, right?
Yeah.
And how did that, how different? I talked to a lot of guys over the years, friends of mine, guys that I've worked with, different shows, doing games, and I've said, okay, what was quote-unquote two-a-days like back when you were in high school, and how did you handle the scrimmages, and how much did you play? How hard did you go? And what was it like for you? Because now 2 scrimmages, right? We're starting earlier, way earlier than we used to. But how did you attack that?
Yeah, 2 days were different.
It was a real two-a-days.
Yeah,
though,
it was a two-a-day. You had a longer break in between. You actually had more of a lunch break in between. You took your naps and had more. You had more of a film session. You broke down film, or had meetings in between, longer break that way, and then had a full practice. An offensive full practice and a defensive full practice. So it was longer that way. You never really. I think it's a little bit different not playing on the turf. You played on the grass. You didn't have the heat as much. At least you didn't feel the heat as much. So that way, it's longer. I liked the way they do it now. I think you get just as much accomplished. You don't have to. The kids can go home now with huddle and watch film, and you can grade them. By watching what they watch at home. So you know how much film they're watching, and you can, as a coach, you can go on there. Break down the film you want your individual players to watch, and what they're watching, and put notes in there for them. So it makes it a little bit easier that way too. So it is nice that they can get out of the facility quicker that way. So, but I could say it was a little bit tougher. More contactors, no doubt. You did the Oklahoma drills and stuff like that, which I understand. You have to protect these kids. It's a little different. Like we said, just the size of these individuals now, even at the high school level. I mean, they're bigger, faster, stronger. There's no doubt. So you have to take care. There's a reason they're doing it, and I understand completely. I'm old school. I got to play for Coach Schnellenberger, and we didn't have water. I mean, he didn't. He didn't believe in water breaks. He was a old Paul Bear Bryant guy, a Junction boy.
Yeah.
I mean, he started. But I talked to players when he went on to Florida Atlantic and started. He changed his philosophy.
Sure.
So you have to change as the game progresses. So. Sometimes you want a little bit of that old school, and I can say, we get tough, but no, you have to adjust. Not unfortunate, but fortunately, that's the right thing to do.
I always wondered, when I would talk to guys that played back in the high school, guys played in the 70s, 80s, maybe even early in the 90s, maybe late 90s. I said, how do you strike that balance when somebody asks you the questions? What was the biggest difference between now and then? As far as toughness, do the old school guys say, yeah, we were just tougher? Or do they say, well, it makes more sense and is safer the way they do it now? Or is there a 50-50 bridge there somewhere?
Yeah, I think it's smarter the way they do it now. I don't think the game's got any easier. I mean, there's still contact out there, and I'm telling you, they fly around just as hard as they did back then. I hear people all the time, well, they're soft, the crackbacks. You're not allowed doing this and that. Well, it's just I know how many times I've seen stars, on a crackback, and it's smart that they're protecting these kids, because we've seen the numbers gone down in the decline in this sport, and we don't need that. We need to do the right things, and you have to adjust, and I think, like I said earlier, these kids are getting bigger, faster, stronger, and we have to adjust to that for the safety of the kids. And these kids are getting after it. There's still football, still a sport that's going to develop young men.
Yep. Going to shape you and do
shape
everything.
them, and there's a lot of other characteristics, not on just football X and O's. It's still going to build character, integrity, and things like that. And it doesn't mean that you have to be cheap shots. It doesn't mean you go play an Oklahoma drill and that makes you a better man. No, it doesn't. It's everything else that goes along with that. So. Yeah, you don't see, the game's more wide open too. You don't run the isolations where the fullback's, flying up in there and, blowing the play up. You don't see that kind of football anymore either. So, yeah. So I guess I'm old school, but you still got to do it the right way.
Old school, but you understand why they do it the way they do
absolutely.
it.
So
Sam Bourquin, Brian Beatty here at 1310 WDPN. It is the Pro Football Hall of Fame Fan Fest. We are live at Stadium Park. Not too far away from the Pro Football Hall of Fame. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. Rangeburg, we're gonna blow out the On This Day in Sports History today, so don't worry about that. We'll come back. We'll get back into our high school football talk, and then again we'll be with you till 6. So we got lots to talk about, lots to get into here on the Sam Bourquin Show. 1310 WDPN.
AWP Safety, North America's leading traffic safety company, is hiring traffic control flaggers, and they need you. Join AWP as a protector for steady work and an important job keeping people safe. They offer paid training, certification, referral bonuses, and advancement opportunities. To apply, visit jobs.awpsafety.com. That's jobs.awpsafety.com.
The 66th annual Greater Alliance Carnation Festival is underway. Welcome to all. This beloved tradition pays homage to Alliance, known as the Carnation City, and promises an unforgettable experience for everyone. Tour the Haynes House, Mabel Hartzell Home, and the Beach Creek Gardens this week. Rodman Public Library is hosting a used book sale, and enjoy free craft displays, delicious food, and captivating live entertainment during Carnation Days in the park. Immerse yourself in Shakespeare as you like it at the historic Glamorgan Castle, a truly must-see experience. Thursday kicks off the famous Carnation Days in the park. Your pet can join in the fun at the pet show and look to the sky for the beautiful, breathtaking hot air balloons. And mark your calendars for the main event Saturday, August 9th, with the Grand Parade at 11 a.m., marching from State Street to Broadway Avenue. Then head to Silver Park for more fun and a heart-pounding fireworks show that evening. Make lasting memories. Check out all the events at carnationfestival.com.
Our national parks didn't just happen. They were imagined by those who saw beyond their time. Now it's up to us to forge new trails. The National Park Foundation. Learn more at nationalparks.org/trailblazers.
1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. Sammy B, Brian Beatty with you here from the Fan Fest at the Stadium Park. I want to throw this out there. Pete Thamel on X does a great job. The Big Ten voted this week to expand the league's football travel rosters to 80 for league games. It goes up from 74. The reason is the age-based eligibility rules, as there's no longer red shirts, so there's no more players who will have the opportunity to play. So they're going to increase the travel rosters from 74 to 80 for league games. So that's cool. 6 more guys get to put the uni on and make a little road trip with their teammates. So certainly nothing wrong with that. A couple minutes before we get to the bottom of the hour, I will get into the Massillon scrimmage here for a minute. Then we'll kind of pick back up after the 5:30 news break. But Brian, my goodness gracious, did Massillon look really, really good today against a great program, Avon. Now I know Avon lost some guys. They've won the last 2, right? Avon, are they going back to back, or they just win 1 in Division 2? No, they got 1.
1, yeah.
And Coach Elder does a fantastic job, former Mount Union guy. But Massillon was really good today. And I don't get caught up in the excitement of especially first scrimmages because it's a lot of situational stuff. You're not lining up and asking guys to go, 70, 80 yards on a drive and the clock and the scoreboard and all that stuff. But I'm going to tell you what, and maybe I'm not breaking any news here because everybody knows Massillon was so good today for their first scrimmage against a great football program like Avon. I'm not saying that they're unstoppable and they're not going to lose a game, but man, the ingredients are there. Yeah, the ingredients are there. Offense, defense, special teams. When I was there, again, things could have changed or been different before and after I was there. I didn't see any pre-snap stuff going on. I mean, they looked fantastic. They looked so well-oiled for a first scrimmage. And, again, you're going up against Mike Ellett and an Avon program. It's been there, done that. Massillon's really good this year. I'm anxious to see how they do against Big Mo next week down in Cincinnati at that scrimmage. I think it's 10 a.m. next Thursday down in Cincinnati. But Tiger fans, you're going to have a lot to cheer about this year as far as the high school football is concerned. Okay, we have the news. We got the weather coming up. Brian and I will come back, and we'll take you all the way up until 6 o'clock tonight right here on AM 1310 WDPN, live from Stadium Park. It's the Pro Football Hall of Fame Fan Fest. We'll be right back.
The latest news and the current Alliance area weather forecast are up next on AM 1310 WDPN.
Good afternoon. It's 5:30. Payrolls across the American economy contracted by 23,000 jobs in July. The unemployment rate ticked down to 4.1%. Public sector payrolls fell sharply. The services sector hiring was soft with a large contraction in retail and leisure. The goods-producing side of the economy saw expansion with construction and durable goods manufacturing expanding at a rapid pace. Economists had forecast the economy would add 88,000 jobs and that the unemployment rate would hold steady at 4.2%. Economists say the labor market has experienced a significant shift away from dependence on immigration-driven workforce. Jobs numbers that could seem anemic could indicate healthy, even robust growth under current conditions. Kentucky Senator Mitch McConnell announced Thursday he was discharged from the hospital after over 50 days of rehab. McConnell's latest hospitalization was due to a fall in his Washington home June 14th, where he was briefly left unconscious. He later developed pneumonia while being rehabilitated and has since been absent from the Senate. During his hospitalization, McConnell's office released 2 photos of the senator in recovery in response to growing calls for transparency. Several colleagues and allies of the 84-year-old, such as Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Scott Jennings, have spoken to McConnell on the phone. He's not been seen or photographed by anyone independent from his office since he was hospitalized. The Senate Agriculture Committee failed to roll out the Republican Farm Bill Tuesday due to McConnell's absence. Independent news outlet Iran International reported this week President Masoud Pezeshkian was only allowed to meet with alleged Supreme Leader Mojtaba Khamenei once since the latter was chosen to rule the country. Pezeshkian addressed his relationship with the younger Khamenei and state media in a televised interview Thursday. Khamenei's father, Ali Khamenei, ruled the country with an iron fist for decades before his demise on February 28th, the first day of America's Operation Epic Fury. In March, the remainder of the Islamist terror state announced Khamenei would be succeeded by his son, who has not made any public appearances nor released any video or audio statements. Some reports have suggested Khamenei was severely injured in the airstrike that killed his father. The Iranian government has not addressed any questions about Khamenei, instead insisting he was healthy and running operations for the ongoing war. A suspect has been arrested in connection with the death of a 38-year-old missionary in Athens, Greece. The body of Elizabeth Jane Ross from Scotland was found several days after being reported missing. 26-year-old boxer from Afghanistan, Sharif Ahmadzai, has been accused of murdering Ross and committing robbery. The woman, also known as Lisa, arrived in Greece in June to volunteer with a refugee support group based in Athens. The seasoned missionary initially stayed with friends before traveling to the Kypseli district, where she went missing and was found dead July 18th. A homeless man found the body in a suitcase near an abandoned building. Authorities soon identified Ahmadzai as a suspect. Police say the man, who's married to an American aid worker living in Greece, admitted moving Ross's body but denied killing her. 80 degrees at 5:33 for WDPN News. I'm Clint Marshall.
Now, the Alliance Area Weather Forecast from Mark Johnson on AM 1310 WDPN.
Grab that umbrella, scattered showers, and maybe a thunderstorm moving our way for the afternoon and evening hours today. Warm and muggy, 84 degrees. Overnight, more of the same. Scattered rain and storms, our low 68. From the 3 News Weather Center, I'm Mark Johnson.
Welcome back, 1310 WDPN, the Sam Bourquin Show. Sammy B, Brian Beatty with you today from the Pro Football Hall of Fame Fan Fest here. We're at Stadium Park. Phone lines are open. If you want to pop in, 330-821-1310, 330-821-1310. Text line is always open for you, 330-944-5179. And, of course, the Q92 Radio YouTube channel. We got the chat open today. I got to shout out Hall of Fame City. Partner, we're thinking about you. I know you've gone through some stuff, a couple of scares here, but we are all thinking about you and praying for you, and hope you have a full recovery. So Hall of Fame City, just want to let you know we're thinking about you, and sending some good vibes your way.
For sure.
Concert here tonight at 7:30. Right, I'll tell you what. Right now is a great time to come. It's not too busy. You'll probably be able to weasel your way close to get a decent parking spot. You won't have to wait in many lines for food and drinks and whatever. So now's probably a good time to get here. Of course, the band takes the stage around 7:30. The Civic Dinner is getting close to cocktail hour down at the Civic Center. The big dinner tonight. The fellows will get their gold jackets, the class of 2026. Of course, we had a fantastic game last night. Carolina and Arizona, 33-30. The Panthers won on the final play of the game. Great atmosphere last night. The weather held out. It was just a great night for football. The Pro Football Hall of Fame game over the years has been like mostly 2s, 3s, and 4s that have played. Not a lot of starters. And again, there wasn't a lot of starters playing last night either. But there was a couple of key components on each team that the quarterbacks kind of made things go. But man, wasn't too long ago, Brian. Teams were playing 5 exhibition games. 5. If you played in the Hall of Fame game, so that was your first one. Then you played 4 more. Way back, they used to play 6. They played
half a season.
Figure that out. 6 exhibition games and then 14 regular season games. And here we are now, 17 regular season games, and we're down to 3 preseason games. That will be changing, obviously, because there will be an 18th game added, I'm assuming, within the next couple of years. So that'll take the preseason games down to 2. So then if you play in the Hall of Fame game, you'll actually get 3. But, boy, how things have kind of changed there, the dynamics, and rosters are bigger, so you got to go through more stuff. The staffs are so much bigger now. I mean, you look at these team pictures, you see you're allowed to carry 53 on your active roster. I think you can have a practice roster. I think it's like 8 to 10 now. So you put those guys in there. And then you see about 40 guys with golf shirts.
Yeah.
I mean, are they all working?
Yeah.
Are they all doing something? I mean, it is unbelievable. I see the amount of coaches on these coaching staffs. And it kind of all started in college, but not too long ago, that I remember saying, what are we doing here? When Billy Napier left Louisiana, Northwest Louisiana, Louisiana Tech or whatever it was, and he went to Florida. Remember Billy Napier went to Florida? And you saw the Florida team picture, 120 coaches, 120 kids. I'll never forget. Now, obviously, Billy Napier's gone.
Yeah,
but is it that much more specialized now, or is it just what are we doing here?
It was interesting watching them warm up yesterday. There's dynamic stretching and static stretching. They call it. The static stretching is the old just sit there and stretch, but there's dynamic stretching. So much to it with the bands, the different individuals,
right? The resistance,
and there's a coach for each band, a stretching band guy, and then you see guys with they have a blocking vest on. I don't know if you noticed that. That was something new that I haven't seen. So there's just so many different stretching aspects to the game. The warm ups, the nutritional people. There's a lot of mental health coaches that are part of the game now. Just a lot that goes into it. The tech guys, the analytic guys. There's just so many people that are around that. I bet the head coaches probably know maybe half of his staff.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, it's crazy.
You and I were on the field last night. Then we got a chance after we figured out the elevator situation to get up, and we were not the only ones confused by that. We finally made it upstairs, and I would take a peek at the booths. Every booth had 30 people in it.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, you used to have the head coach. You had a position coaches, and then you had the get back guy.
Yeah.
On the sideline, get back, get back. That's all you had. Now it's no wonder there's no room on the sidelines for anybody.
Yeah.
Anymore, but it is really it's gone crazy. It really has. Phone lines are open if you want to pop in 330-821-1310. Again, we're going to be with you until 6 o'clock here. We are live at Stadium Park. Looks like the traffic is picking up a little bit closer to dinner time, and folks are going to come out a little bit earlier. And then, of course, they get the big concert coming up here. Now, you're going to the Laney Wilson concert, correct?
Yes.
Friday on Sunday night.
Yeah.
At Tom Benson, and I think they've sold around 17,500 tickets, maybe a few more. That'll be a fantastic show. Do you have a favorite concert that you've been to over the years at all? Anything stand out?
I want to say Aerosmith.
Yeah,
that was
to me. That's the most one that you hear about.
Yeah, that was one I wasn't expecting it. Just with the age in it, but unbelievable. Yeah, that was neat. Yeah, Aerosmith. It was definitely the bucket list. So yeah, that was the best one. My wife and daughter went to Carrie Underwood. That was their favorite. Yeah, so they said they really, really enjoyed that one. So yeah, I picked them up all of them from that one. They all had a real good time. So, but yeah, those are the two that stood out. Yeah, that was really neat how they've put those on now the last couple of years. It really is. So. Yeah.
The wild thing about this year's concert, what was it, like a day or two after last year's?
Yeah.
They announced it.
Yeah.
Usually you wait until like late winter, early spring. and they'll announce when they're going to put the tickets on sale. They came out within like 48 hours. Hey, Lainey Wilson, that's going to be the Concert for Legends. Boom.
Start selling.
And she's like, how do I say this? She's like, she's in her zone right now.
Yeah,
she's hot
she's
everywhere.
a hot ticket.
She's a hot ticket.
Yeah,
so
and it was,
shout out for the to get her to come down here and play on
Absolutely.
Sunday, because she is very, very, very popular everywhere right now.
Yeah.
And sometimes you got to wait to get artists or groups, maybe a couple of years past.
Yeah.
But they hit a home run, or should I say, threw a touchdown pass this year. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Is there a musical act or artist that you would like to see play at the Concert for Legends, if it were possible?
I'd say bring Garth Brooks in. That would be neat. Legend. But I think it'd be neat to see. That's a tough one. Yeah, Garth would be one. It'd be a bucket list one. Bring in George Strait. I'm a country guy.
Yeah, you are a country guy. I gotta shake this up a little bit.
I'm a country guy, So, but yeah, it's it would be interesting. So
I love all genres of music, but I'm thinking, who they could get that still, rings the bell.
Yeah.
And whether it's country or pop or metal or rock or whatever. I just don't like. I hear people Metallica. A lot of people want Metallica.
AC/DC.
They want them to come in.
That would be
And I'm thinking like pop music or I just it's got to work out. Their schedule's got to be free. You got to be willing to put out what you need to put out as far as paying the act to come in and work it out with the marketing people, the venue people. You don't just snap your fingers and boom, you got the hot act in town. You got to go through quite a lot to get that, but they sure hit it out of the park this year. The festival itself, I've talked about this a lot this week, has grown so much, and different activities, different events in different areas. It used to be like down, now it's Jackson Township. They got the balloons and stuff, and the fireworks, and the drone shows, and different events popping up all over the area. And I sometimes close my eyes and I think and I wonder what this will all look like in a couple of years when everything is done and finished. And I wish I had a drone and I would just put it up. I would just take the coolest picture and say, we are finally finished.
Yeah.
And this is what it looks like. I'd get a picture during the day. I'd get one at night with everything all lit up. And I still kind of wonder, because we're getting there. We're crawling, okay? But we're finally going to get there. And I just wonder when it's all said and done, what the campus is going to look like, the Hall of Fame grounds, what that's going to look like. Obviously, the museum, they keep, improving things with their, it won't be much longer. They'll have to start, paying attention to the stadium, and maybe some stuff will need to be redone or re-upped or whatever. But I just kind of wonder when it's all done and free-flowing, and we got the highway access is ready to roll. The park. I just wonder how cool and how different it's going to look to what it used to look like, what it looks like now, and what it will look like then. I just consumed by that for some reason.
Yeah, and it's great for this weekend, these events, but just future events. I mean, the facility itself, the fields and the opportunity with the dome and the football field itself, but all the auxiliary fields, the opportunity here to have national events and stuff. I think that's what the future here is, to grow this area. And then, like you said, to have most of the events in one area, to have this fan fest and everything all in one area. But I still think you're going to have the Jackson side of things, the area. You're still going to have it spread out. I had the opportunity, 11 years living in Kentucky and having the Derby Festival,
Oh my gosh.
And the kickoff for the Derby. It's a 2.5 week event, and it starts downtown with the big fireworks show. So, and it's kind of spread out with different food events throughout the city, So, it's one. I think Canton's still going to be, Stark County is still going to be part of it. You're still going to have different events throughout the county, but having the main area for all the outside visitors to come in and have one specific area for them to visit, but still have them to. I think the events beforehand are really for the Stark County people. That Drone Fest and the Food Fest out at the Kent State Stark campus is really for us local people to get excited about for everything, coming in. So I think you're still going to have some outside stuff, but I think stuff. It's been a slow process, and there's been up and downs with the park and everything getting developed, but it seems like it's slowly getting there. We got our fingers crossed, and my daughter's had the opportunity to take advantage of with soccer, the opportunities in the field and some of the tournaments that take place there, and it's a great facility. It helps all of Stark County, all the hotels, restaurants, and hopefully we continue to grow it, and it just works out in the right way.
Yeah, and again, they'll have to start thinking about striking that balance between what's at the hall, or what's at the village, or what's going to be in Jackson, what's going to be downtown. How do you correlate and kind of stream those all together and make it one big accessible event or events for everybody? The locals, obviously, have to embrace.
Yes,
you have to embrace, and I think that's kind of coming back. I think we kind of lost our way there a little bit. I think it's coming back a little, but you want everybody to just kind of embrace this whole couple of weeks and put on a good show. And trust me, when people come here and they have a great time, it's like the old Prel shampoo commercial. They'll tell two friends, and so on and so on, and they do, and they'll say about the great time they had, how hospitable everybody was, how friendly people were. That the city looked good, the county looked good, and they enjoy their time. And you're hoping that they come back.
Yeah.
And whether it's for another Hall of Famer of their favorite team, or they said, you know what, we don't care who the class is, we don't care who the bands are, we don't care who's playing in the game. We had so much fun because there was so much to do. Everybody was so nice. We're going to go back. And I think once you do that, you've won.
Yeah,
I think that's what you need to do.
Yep. Or, maybe a businessman comes in to see his favorite player and, hey, let's have our convention here. Let's have our meetings in Canton, Ohio. Let's do something at the Hall of Fame and, book it that way. So, there's a lot of opportunities. I'd love to keep downtown Canton part of it. I think, they have to do a little work with the Civic Center, continue improvement there, because, it's an older venue. There's no doubt about that. So, but, it's still part of the history. I couldn't imagine not having events at the Civic Center. But
you got to figure a way to incorporate
everything,
the downtown area.
Exactly.
Because, the parade still, Cleveland Avenue downtown. You still have the enshrining civic dinner. You still have the fashion show. Now, at some point, I would not be surprised if all those events are held here.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. But to keep the downtown area, to keep everybody on the kind of like the outskirts involved and make it everybody's. And I think that's to be something that should be they'll try to shoot for. I think if they keep going the way they're going, I think they will eventually get there. 330-821-1310 is our number. You can always text the show at 330-944-5179. Sam Bourquin, Brian Beatty here live on WDPN and streaming all over Q92 YouTube channel, WDPN Facebook page, the Sam Bourquin Show page on Facebook. And you can check me out on TikTok, on Instagram, on X at Sam Bourquin16 if you want to go ahead and do that as well. We will, first of all, check and see what time it is. It's 5:51. We're going to take our final break. We'll come back. We'll talk a little Guards baseball when we return. We'll get you. We'll reset the stage for the rest of the weekend for the 2026 Pro Football Hall of Fame Enshrinement Festival, and then we will bid you adieu from Stadium Park. It's all coming up here. Stay with us. 1310 WDPN.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-498-2098 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-498-2098 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-498-2098 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
High school football returns to WDPN Friday night, August 21st. This is Christian Bigglesworth. My partner Derek Dimmitt and I will be calling the action all season long. And the games will also be streaming live on AM 1310's Facebook and X pages, as well as the Q92 YouTube channel. Get ready for another amazing season of high school football, starting August 21st, right here on AM 1310 WDPN.
The 66th annual Greater Alliance Carnation Festival is underway. Welcome to all. This beloved tradition pays homage to Alliance, known as the Carnation City, and promises an unforgettable experience for everyone. Tour the Haynes House, Mabel Hartzell Home, and the Beach Creek Gardens this week. Rodman Public Library is hosting a used book sale, and enjoy free craft displays, delicious food, and captivating live entertainment during Carnation Days in the park. Immerse yourself in Shakespeare as you like it at the historic Glamorgan Castle, a truly must-see experience. Thursday kicks off the famous Carnation Days in the park. Your pet can join in the fun at the pet show and look to the sky for the beautiful, breathtaking hot air balloons. And mark your calendars for the main event Saturday, August 9th, with the Grand Parade at 11 a.m., marching from State Street to Broadway Avenue. Then head to Silver Park for more fun and a heart-pounding fireworks show that evening. Make lasting memories. Check out all the events at carnationfestival.com.
$1310 WDPN. Welcome back to the Sam Bourquin Show. We're live on location today at the Pro Football Hall of Fame Fan Fest at Stadium Park. Going on until, I think, 10 o'clock tonight. Been great here so far all week. The food vendors, the entertainment, food, the drinks, you name it. That'll continue to go on here throughout the weekend. Coming up tomorrow, 8 a.m., the Grand Parade steps off downtown Canton at 8. Be sure to look for us. We're unit number 70 in the Hall of Fame parade tomorrow. At noon, the class of 26 enshrinement ceremonies at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. 3 o'clock tomorrow is the class of 2026 bust placement when the bus will be put into their new home inside the Hall of Fame. So what that tells me, doing the quick math here, they're probably looking at like noon to 2:30 for the enshrinement tomorrow, which is a little bit shorter than normal. Of course, you've only got 5 going in this year, so a little shorter there, but just kind of keep that in mind. 11 a.m. unscripted and tailgate. Used to be the Enshrinees Roundtable. That's at the Civic Center Sunday at 11. 7:30, the Concert for Legends with Lainey Wilson and the opening act, Braxton Keith. That'll be at 7:30 Sunday night at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. Let's see here. Lots of other stuff going on. So have fun. Be safe, but have fun. Enjoy everything that's going on here, and will continue to go on here for the next couple of days. All right, Brian, you follow the Guards, right?
Yes.
What's going on with them? Why are they struggling outside of what we always blame it on, payroll and swinging at bad pitches? What is going on? Why the funk right now?
Good question.
I know, because I can't answer it. I figured I'd ask you.
Well, you got some new call-ups, new guys in, getting a little bit, I guess, you think you should be ready to hit a baseball no matter what, this time of year.
Right.
But It's hard to tell. A little bit of a slump. You need the slump breaker, I guess, right now, and just kind of get going. Maybe just get. You're into August now. You got to start playing. It's hard to tell. It's just the whole division is like you said earlier. There's no rhyme or reason. That you should be hitting the ball, getting the wins, and playing better all the way around. It just isn't there right now. So.
Kind of scary part is it's some of the mental lapses.
Yeah.
Now, does that go right to Stephen Vogt, or these guys are grown men? They shouldn't have to be pampered and coddled and tell. I mean, they're doing things now that they just haven't done. They're booting balls. They're swinging it really, really bad. But they're not playing good, fundamental, smart baseball right now. And that you let that bleed over 3 games, 7 games, a couple of series. And if the teams in front of you are picking up a couple of games on you, that thing can spiral out of control quickly. Wait, the Guardians are lucky the Red Sox swept Chicago.
Yes.
They are lucky. Now, they get a chance to go into the Windy City this weekend. And, look, they're 3 out now. Just go in there and get 2.
Yeah.
Just go because you got another series with them coming up in September.
Mm-hmm.
Just go in there and get 2. Now, if you go in there and just completely fall apart and you get on a plane and you're 5 out, then things are going to look a little murky.
Yeah.
But the opportunity's there. You can go into Chicago, put your big boy pants on, and play good fundamental ball, and win the series, and you're right back where you want to be.
Yeah, it's time, like you said, put your big boy pants on. It's time to mentally start playing Major League Baseball. You know, just start doing the basics and just playing it the right way. It's hard to tell. They're frustrating,
especially after you made those moves. You got the excitement going,
and it's just
it's been a
big exhale, and it's like, why?
It's like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
We'll remind everybody again tomorrow, 2 parades. The Pro Football Hall of Fame parade, 8:00. We will be Unit 70 tomorrow in the Hall of Fame parade, and then we will be. I think we're almost like at the tail end of the Carnation Days parade, but look for us coming down State Street tomorrow, late morning, early afternoon in Alliance. We're certainly looking forward to that. Been a lot of fun here today. Kind of quiet right now. People are just kind of chilling right now.
Yeah,
not a lot of crazy right now. People getting a little dinner, maybe getting some drinks. A concert coming up here around 7:30 or so. I'm sure it'll be a lot more crowded for that. But thanks for hanging out today, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Coming over. Yeah, pretty soon we'll be every Friday night. We'll be getting together. Of course, the big early weekend will be Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yes.
So
triple header.
We'll be ready to roll.
Yeah.
Keep a can of that. Whatever you're drinking over there on
Ghost or Monster.
Ghost or Monster.
Something, yeah.
Is that?
Stay hydrated.
I'm afraid to drink that stuff. I'm afraid my heart will flutter.
I know. That's my wife tells me that all the time.
But there are days when I think, I could use one of those. Yes. So that's going to wrap it up from here. Thanks to Ryan Rainsberg back in the studios of 1310 WDPN. Thanks to all of you for taking part in the program. A little shorter program today, but we appreciate y'all hanging out with us today here from the Fan Fest. And parades tomorrow. We got the enshrinement. We got the concert on Sunday. Make sure you check us out on all of our social media platforms, 1310 WDPN Q92, and we will keep you up to date. So until we meet again, well, I will be gone next week. I'll be back a week from Monday. But until you get together back with us at whatever time that is, don't forget, and as always, go Browns, go Bucks, go Guards, go Cavs. Have a great night. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the festivities, and we'll see you on down the road, 1310 WDPN.